This week on TIAA Bank, Jaguars weekend. The Jaguars need to bounce back after a rough go against the 49ers.
Very poor display of football in so many areas.
Now, it's on to the Atlanta Falcons. Jeff Lageman takes us into the film room to break down some defensive highlights.
If it's 4 coming and 7 dropping, it's going to work.
Plus, we visit a Jacksonville naval base and treat ourselves to some milk and cookies with the Jags.
Ready, set, go.
All that and way more ahead on Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank, turn potential into progress. Geico, saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save. And Cadillac. Visit your local Greater Area Jacksonville Cadillac dealer. Today's game is presented by CSX.
I think we won 2 out of 3 at one point, so you started feeling good. You had victory meals, people starting to pep their step around here a little bit. Defense was one of the top defenses in the last 4 games. You kind of feel a little juice going, and then you play like that. So we got to get them back. That's my job, that's our staff's job, and our leader's job. So that was a sting to it, but we'll be back.
Yeah, after a loss like that, the confidence in the locker room is bruised for sure. This week, the Jaguars will work to get back in the win column and get a much-needed boost. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. It's been a roller coaster of a season. There have been the highest of highs, like the upset win over the Bills just a couple weeks ago, and then the lowest of lows, a 20-point loss at home last Sunday. The Jaguars need to find some consistency. What can we expect from this team the rest of the season? The locker room is working to figure that out.
His development is still continuing. I mean, he's a rookie quarterback, so there's a lot to learn. The NFL is way different than college in terms of just how you play offensive football. So I think Trevor's doing a great job of continuing to get better each and every week. Proud of where he's at. Do we want him to get better? Absolutely. Does everybody else around him need to get better? Absolutely, including myself, including all the coaches. We all got to be better.
In football, when offenses struggle, the quarterback is usually getting the blame. But according to head coach Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the issue.
He played really well this week, and you look at me like I'm nuts, but he did. The guys around him didn't play as well, but he's growing up. He's already a tough guy, and we got the right quarterback.
Lawrence knows the simple answer to get this offense going. Everyone do their job.
It's all about creativity. I think it's mostly about execution. That's something we've talked about a lot. We've met as an offense and talked about we just got to get better. We got to execute. It's the details and the stuff that is in, whatever the install is or whatever our game plan is, we got to know it at the back of our hand and execute that. And I think that's the starting point.
Welcome into the huddle with Brian Sexton and John Oehser getting ready for a home game against the Atlanta Falcons. And Brian, there's no secrets. The offense just has to score more points. The question is, how do they do that? Can they do that?
Well, I'm not sure that they can, especially if James Robinson is somewhat less than 100%, which we heard this week he is and probably will be for the rest of the year. How does the offense score more points? The defense creates more takeaways, gives them shorter fields, and makes it easier.
Yeah, I think that's the only realistic way. Short of that, what the offense has to do is get long, extended drives. They have to make more plays. And they have to get a better running attack than they have the last few weeks. As Brian alluded to, that's ideal. I don't know if that's unrealistic with the personnel they're putting out in the field, but execution on third down, converting third downs, getting good running games, all the cliches, that's what you've got to do. And maybe hit a big play or two when they're there. There's not a lot of opportunities. The ones that are there, they got to take advantage of. It's sort of the same story as the last month.
Yeah, and you're almost asking a lot of this defense to create more turnovers after they've been playing so well. But you look at last week, Brian, and Josh Allen said it best that he felt like if it wasn't for the penalties, they might have won that game. So is this still a defensive unit that we trust and it was just a weird week, or did we go really far down the line here?
Well, they had a month of really good play behind them, and I don't think you erase that. And Josh is right. Look, if that penalty, that 5-yard holding penalty that became a first down near midfield on that opening drive wasn't called, then they're punting. There were other opportunities later in that drive where they had chances to get them off the field, and everything changes. But at the end of a 20-play drive, gosh, it felt like they were out there forever. I'm going to give the defense another week before I lose any trust in them. Josh Allen in particular, who has played so very well. We saw Roy Robertson-Harris play extremely well on Sunday. I think they can put it all together. But you've got guys who've been injured all week. We'll have to wait and see what they can put out there on the field.
The NFL is a game of situations, and it's a game of inches. If they get off the field in those situations twice in the first half, not just once last week, then you feel dramatically different about this defense. You probably hold them to no points on the first drive, 3 on the second. Now you're talking down 10-0 instead of 17-0. How much different do you feel about that? Don't commit penalties on third down. Make a play on third down, and you feel much different. This defense will be fine as long as they do those things because of one thing. They are able to get pressure on the quarterback. They're able to be stout defensively against the run, and Josh Allen's really good. So, Sean, I guess that's 3 things, not one thing.
Yeah, and really you want some consistency out of this defensive unit and really this team, Brian. We talk about the fans leaving at halftime last week, and you hated to see that. Here's your opportunity to win in front of your home crowd. How important is that?
Well, it's vital, especially with those kids. You need to get them engaged. You need them to be energized and bugging their parents, pulling their parents towards the car on Sunday mornings to come to the stadium. We'll see empty seats. You don't want to see empty seats. You want them all filled. You do that with a winning team. As to consistency, you do that with offense. If this team can consistently score 23 to 25 points, which we expect in the near future they'll be able to do, then the defense can play a better brand of football. Then they're not always playing from behind. The offense has got to get going for this team to be consistent.
That's absolutely right. The reason they're inconsistent is because they don't score very well. They have played okay defensively in a lot of spots the last 6 weeks, and when they've gotten a little bit of help for the most part, they've been okay. Defenses that play consistently when they get no help from the offense eventually break down. I think that's what you've seen consistently from this Jaguars team is a lot of effort defensively, and eventually it just goes away because they're not getting the support.
Now it's time for Finding Solutions presented by UF Health, delivering compassionate care and world-class outcomes. Visit ufhealthjax.org/gameplan. Really, Brian, you could have copied and pasted this Finding Solutions to last week's Finding Solutions, trying to stop an explosive tight end. Last week it was George Kittle for the 49ers. This week it is Kyle Pitts for the Atlanta Falcons, who was the 4th overall pick in last year's draft and is really an explosive offensive weapon.
Well, you don't have anyone who matches up well. You hope Tyson Campbell can be that kind of a guy because he's tall and has length, but you don't know how healthy he is with the shoulder injury he suffered last week against San Francisco. So the best way to defend against Kyle Pitts, go get the quarterback. Make Matt Ryan run for his life and never be able to set his feet. You've got the personnel to do it. It's the only way you're going to take Kyle Pitts out of the game. You got to take Matt Ryan away.
Well, here's the news flash. There's probably 30 teams in the NFL who don't match up well against Kyle Pitts. They call him the unicorn for a reason. He's that good. And he's making plays as a rookie, which is rare for a tight end. I completely agree with Brian on this one. The Falcons' offensive line has been just okay this year. They've been vulnerable at times. This is a game where if the Jaguars can stay in it, meaning their offense has to get points, but if they can stay in it and create a pass rush, you can get to Matt Ryan. When teams have gotten to Matt Ryan and made him struggle, the Falcons have struggled at the same time. So that's really the key to playing this team.
It is a mismatch issue that the Jaguars are going to have to figure out this week. Much more to come from Brian Sexton and John Oehser here in the Huddle. Coming up on TIAA Bank, Jaguars Weekend. We're in the film room with Jeff Lageman. Next.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Geico. Saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save. Download Ultimate Jags now from the App Store and Google Play for a chance to win weekly prizes, including game tickets, autographed merchandise, and more. Veterans, choose VA for the benefits you earned. Visit choose.va.gov. Today's game is presented by CSX.
Kyle Pitts is definitely a heck of a player. You know, he's been playing. He's made a lot of great catches just by watching the film, man. And he's somebody that we got to keep our eye on. We know it's going to be a game up front. We just got to win the trench battle, and we got a good opportunity to do it this week.
Tight end Kyle Pitts is a mismatch. He plays more like a big wide receiver than an inline tight end. The Jaguars have to pay close attention to him this week.
Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. The defense has been playing really well the past few weeks. It looked like the one unit the team could count on to keep the Jaguars in games. And then the 49ers came to town. The defense gave up 30 points, and the narrative flipped. But something the Jags can build on is the pressure they've been getting on quarterbacks. Jeff Lageman takes a closer look in the Cadillac film room.
Empty backfield, dropping the throw. They're going to hit it. They're going to sack it that time. Damien Wilson got him all the way back at the 47-yard line.
Welcome into the football lab, and today we're going to learn about what's a zone blitz. Damien Wilson got a sack against the 49ers while he was running, and the defense was running a zone blitz. The beauty of a zone blitz, you can send any combination of 4 guys that you want to, and then you're going to play a cover 2 shell behind it. 2 deep safeties, 5 underneath guys in coverage. On the particular play that Damien gets the sack, he comes off of the outside edge, and so then you're sending 3 other defensive linemen the opposite way and then dropping 1 defensive lineman, Josh Allen, into coverage into this little area. Miles Jack is dropping in the middle. So evenly spaced, 5 underneath, 2 deep. Here comes 4 guys. It's going to work. Now let's take a look at how they ran it with Damien Wilson getting the sack. And here we are looking at it from the big picture standpoint. Look at the timing of Damien Wilson. He's hitting it just as the ball is snapped. And he is the 4th rusher because Josh Allen is dropping on the opposite side to a little hook route combination. And there's Miles Jack in the middle. Again, 4 guys coming, 7 in the coverage, a cover 2 shell, 2 deep safeties, 5 underneath guys, and Jimmy Garoppolo goes down on the sack with the zone blitz. So now that we know what a zone blitz is, let's take a look at a man blitz. We have to start with the concept of a man blitz. Man means you have man coverage and you're sending extra guys at the quarterback. That's what these dotted lines signify. It's man coverage on each of those guys. So now we have left Roy Robertson Harris, who is looping around the other defensive tackle, and here's the guard waiting on him. And Roy Robertson Harris takes this guard all the way back into the lap of the quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo, and he gets a sack. It's the player that makes it happen in a man blitz. Now let's take a look at the film and make it work in action and see the power of Roy Robertson Harris. And we're going to look at this from a tight angle. We know that we have man coverage all the way around the outside. We're going to focus in, though, on the core. Here comes the linebacker, Damien Wilson. The guard picks him up, and then the running back comes off on Miles Jack. So here we have Roy Robertson Harris looping around, and you can see 60. The right guard picks him up. But look at the job that Roy Robertson Harris, that right arm, powers the guard back into the lap of Jimmy Garoppolo, and Big Roy gets his first career sack as a Jaguar.
We have so much to be thankful for this week and every week, thanks to our military for keeping us safe. The Jaguars wanted to say thank you during the holiday season by paying a visit to Naval Air Station Jacksonville with alumni Ernest Wilford and Kevin Hardy. Let's check it out in our Baptist Health feature.
Salute to Service Week is special in the NFL, but it's extra special in North Florida. Jaguars alumni Kevin Hardy and Ernest Wilford and members of the Roar of the Jaguars saw that firsthand this week. They paid a visit to Naval Air Station Jacksonville. They watched a class at one of only 2 Naval Rescue Swimmer schools in the fleet and were impressed with the effort, intensity, and athleticism of those guys in the pool. A trip to visit the Jaguars of Helicopter Squadron 60 rounded out what could only be called an incredible morning.
To come out here and to see, the men and women that really, are out here protecting our country. As I've been out here, you look at the faces, they're all excited to see us. But I tell you, I'm more excited to see them, and it's really good to come out here and to support them and to meet them and to spend a little time with them.
Commander Dan Jones was thankful this week of Thanksgiving for the chance to spend some time with the other Jaguars in Jacksonville.
It's super fun because we look at them the same way they're looking at us right now. So in this moment, as we look at these players that have given so much to the Jacks, and just we've watched them play, they come out and ask questions. They look like kids in candy stores like we are right now. So it's a lot of fun, and it's obvious that they're thanking us for what we do, just like we thank them for giving us Sundays where we can enjoy ourselves.
The military and the Jaguars are both part of the fabric of our community and are interwoven by each's commitment to the other. For Jaguars.com, I'm Brian Sexton.
There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend.
Chocolate chip or Oreo? I'll probably go with the Oreo.
Oreos. I love Oreos. Every kind of Oreo.
We take a snack break with some of our favorite players. That's next.
You know, Trevor would be the first one to tell you when he doesn't play well. He played, in my mind, he played well. You know, good enough? No, not good enough, but played well, made some great throws, scrambled when he had to, made the right reads on some of, you know, so we just gotta, you know, we gotta put it together in all areas, and we're not right now.
Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense struggled against the 49ers, but the head coach isn't worried about the rookie quarterback's progress. We're back on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. Sometimes everyone needs a little break to discuss cookie dunking strategy. You know, the important stuff. Luckily, Jaguars Weekend is the perfect place for that. Wide receiver Jamal Agnew and long snapper Ross Matisick sit down with Jaguars.com kid reporter Jordan and have some milk and cookies. Let's take a look.
Okay, so first question. What's the perfect technique for when you're dunking your cookie in milk?
Can I show you?
Sure.
See, I'm specific with it, so can't put it all in there. Stick maybe like a 1/4 inch out.
Me and my brothers that growing up would, what we do is we just take a sleeve of Oreos and throw them all in the milk, wait about 5 minutes, and then go get after it.
One thing I learned throughout my cookie dipping years is you gotta give a little bit of air to it, because that's how you get the best sog right there. And you see, once it breaks like that, I don't know if the camera can see it, but once it breaks like that, that's when it's ready. See, perfect little sog.
Let me try it actually.
Yeah, little 1/4 inch, let me see. Don't let the finger do it. You can go a little bit more, don't be scared. There you go. Push on it a little bit. Yeah, there it is. You see, don't drop it. That's the worst, when you drop it, you gotta dig your hand in the bottom.
All right, now this is a big question here. I'm gonna let you think about it for a second.
Right.
Which one do you prefer? Chocolate chip or Oreo?
I'll probably go with the Oreo.
Oreos. I love Oreos. Every kind of Oreo.
Is it even close for the chocolate chip?
I like the chewy chocolate chips. I don't like the crunchy chocolate chips. Not to say I don't like them, but I prefer them chewy. So if I'm gonna eat a chocolate chip cookie, it's gotta be one of those really soft ones, or like even just like the Chips Ahoy, the red batch, the chewy ones. A1.
I'm a big chocolate chip guy, but Oreos all the way. Double stuffed. Nugget stuff's too much stuffing. Double stuffed. I like the golden ones as well.
I just personally like the inside of the Oreo.
Oh, you think you eat the cracker?
Nope.
Wow.
That's why you get double stuffed.
So if I'm eating crunchy cookies, I'm going with the Oreos, preferably double stuffed.
I think it might be because I have braces. It just feels way better.
Yeah, the soft stuff.
You want to challenge me to a milk drinking contest?
Let's do it.
Okay. Ready, set, go. How?
I just gotta practice. Very thirsty. And I drink milk every day, so I'm used to it.
You see, but mine is like.
You gotta drink fast. It would be better with some Oreos in it, but did the job.
Well, that's pretty much it.
Appreciate you having me, Jordan.
And this has been
Ross Matisick with Jordan Sanders on Milk and Cookie.
Still to come, Brian Sexton and John Oehser are back with what the Jaguars need to do to stay competitive.
There's always ways to get them the ball, and didn't really do that last week for whatever reason. Just how the game went. You know, they did a good job of trying to take them away. So that's something that you always have a plan for. And then they played a lot of man coverage last week. We got to beat man, and you got to be really accurate when you're playing man coverage. So that's, you know, those are the two things.
Tight end Dan Arnold had 0 targets last week in the loss to the 49ers. The Jaguars are working to find ways to get him the ball because he's become a reliable offensive weapon.
We're back in the huddle with Brian Sexton and John Oehser. Quickly, guys, one guy you're paying attention to this Sunday against the Falcons.
In a beat-up secondary, Andrew Wingert. And he made a couple plays last week. That always throws me off. Made a couple of plays last week, and unfortunately, they were overturned by penalties. He's going to have to be over the top of whichever side Kyle Pitts is. He's going to have to make big plays if this team is going to create turnovers, which we said they need. So I'll go with number 42, Dewey.
Well, I wanted to go with Dewey because he's my guy, but I'll go with Dan Arnold on the other side of the ball. He didn't get a target last week. A lot of that was because the 49ers took him away effectively. I expect the Falcons to do the same thing. They watch the same tape. They know he's the best Jaguars offensive option. They will try to take Dan Arnold away, but the coaches, the quarterback needs to do a better job of making sure he gets the ball.
The Jaguars this week looking for a very much needed win against the Atlanta Falcons, 2-8 on the season, and needing some confidence here in this building, here in Jacksonville. We'll see if they can get it done. Thank you for tuning in to Jaguars Weekend. We'll see you right back here next week.